Hello friends, how are you? My name is Corbin Reed and welcome back to my YouTube channel and happy 2024. This is my first video back in 2024. I had a really lovely holiday, really relaxing holiday, and I'm ready to get back to sharing some stuff with you guys. So at the end of 2023, I did a really cool DIY. I had a bunch of cutting boards like many of us do, kind of like falling all over my countertops, and I was trying to find different places to stack them, and I would put them in cupboards and they were just like in the way. And so I saw this really cool cutting board shelf that a YouTuber did. I think her name is DIY Huntress, but hers was more like a spice rack. And I was like, oh, I could just minimize that and put it on this empty wall that's next to my sink, which is perfect because then when I need it, I can just grab it, take it down and use it. So it's a really super easy DIY that I did complete in the meat of it in one day, then the install took another day, so about 2 days, and it's like building a small version of a bookshelf. You could do it with inexpensive lumber and honestly some pocket hole screws. So if you're just getting started in DIY, this is an awesome way to add some warmth, some character, and of course my favorite thing, some function to your kitchen. So if that sounds interesting to you, then please just keep on watching. So this is the way that the wall looks before I'm adding anything to it. My inspiration is just to add some warmth like I did with the decor and the shelves here by adding this wood cutting board shelf. I'm inserting a couple of inspo photos here, but this is just too stark for me, so adding the wood cutting shelf is going to make functional difference but also beauty difference, my favorite combo. So I started out with some poplar boards that I bought from the hardware store, and I decided to use poplar because I will be staining this cutting board shelf. I cut everything down to size according to the blank space that is on the wall opposite of my kitchen sink, and the idea is to build a sort of shelf, bookshelf if you will, cutting board shelf, tall enough to fill up the blank space that I showed you before starting this video. So I'm just drilling pocket holes into all of the shelf pieces and into the tops and the bottoms and to the supports, and then I will be assembling this entire shelf. If you've watched me build anything, you know that the process is always pretty much the same: pocket holes and right angle clamps, and then I just screw everything together with correct pocket hole screws using the driver, and it gives me a pretty solid construction every single time, and it just makes building very easy and user friendly. These right angle clamps I got on Amazon, and I will leave them linked down below. So once the frame was built, it was time to start installing the shelves. I did not do this, but until a little bit later, and I'm not even sure if I got it on camera, but the best way to make sure that your shelves are equidistant is to just use a scrap piece of wood and slip it between, so that way you only have to measure the scrap piece once, and you can just kind of slide it up and down as you work your way up and down the shelves. This would work for any shelf. Spacer blocks are always a really quick way to build instead of measuring like I am here. So that is a little hack if you are going to try this project. I had all of the shelves spaced to where I wanted them. I did end up just assembling them with these pocket hole screws, and quick and easy. You can see the pocket holes there, and I'm just drilling them into the edges of the frame and using a right angle, I think you just call that a right angle speed square, just to make sure that I'm it's going in at a 90-degree angle and nothing is wonky or crooked when I am assembling these shelves. Next up, it was time to install the support strips. These I also used attaching surprise pocket holes and pocket hole screws. Now these are what I'm going to use to attach the back of the shelf to the side of the cabinet. Okay, so the shelf is assembled for the most part. This is going, oh geez, this is a little awkward. This is going to be the front of the shelf, and the idea is that I am going to lay some pole wrap over, I'm going to lay some pole wrap over the front here, and not the front, I'm going to lay some pole wrap over the back, so I'll be able to shoot nails into the pole wrap here. That's why I put so many supports in. I probably should have put 2 more, but I'll end up just using spacers so it is flush, and I will show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go dry fit this upstairs, so I'll show you what I'm talking about with the pole wrap instead of telling you. So this is a scrap piece of pole wrap from a different project, and essentially you can see the grooves here. And what I'll be doing is placing this as a backing onto the shelf. So these will be cut to size, and then I'll just go boom, boom, and I'll use a brad nailer and shoot holes to attach it through there. And then the last bit will be these dowels, which will act as a support on the shelf. So I'm just remeasuring to make sure that the insides are the size that I need them to be before I go and cut the pole wrap to those sizes, since like I said, they will be inserted into the shelves to look something like this. This is the dry fit version, and everything lined up really nice. Okay, so this is the dry fit version. Ignore how kind of wild and kooky it looks. This is the dry fit version of the shelf. I love the way it looks. So I need to like get these stickers off somehow. And then there's a couple stickers, like product tag stickers. And then I'm going to stain it. I really don't need to sand this because it's just not necessary. Everything came really well sanded because it's poplar wood. So I can really just get straight away to wood conditioning and staining this. So that is the next step in this process. And then as you saw before, there are these dowels. I labeled everything so that when I come back, because the measurements are a little bit different in each shelf, but I labeled everything so that when I come back, I know exactly where each piece of pole wrap and each dowel is gonna go. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I'll be assembling it and installing it. So, as far as pre-stain goes and wood conditioner goes, I do not recommend skipping this step ever. Pre-stain, I use the Minowax pre-stain. It just conditions the wood so that when the stain goes on, everything is smooth and it just looks, there are no splotchy, blotchy areas. And you just never know how dehydrated the wood is, you know, so it's a good thing to do before you stain. It just makes the process go faster and you end up using less stain. And I did use Special Walnut by Varathane to stain the frame and also to stain the pole wrap. So this is just after everything has dried, the stain and all of that. I brought it upstairs to get a dry fit, and I have not secured the pole wrap yet, but this is just to ensure that it fits. And as you can see, there is a gap there at the top, and I will be addressing that later with some trim, but it fits, so I am moving on to the dowels and getting those fit in there. So the process for this was pretty straightforward. All you want to do is take a drill bit that is a similar size to the dowels that you're going to use as bars to sort of secure the cutting boards into the shelf, and you just drill a shallow hole into the shelf. You don't want to go too far, because if you go too far then the dowel won't fit, so you want to just drill it shallow enough that they'll sort of slip in there. I did overcut my dowels by like 1/8 of an inch so that I left room for that. It's always better to overcut than undercut because you can always trim, but it went pretty smoothly. And once I had all of my dowels cut and all of the holes lined up in there where I wanted them, I'm gonna have 2 stacked per row on top of each other. I went ahead and pre-drilled some holes into the supports so that I could attach this thing to the side of the cabinets. And once I confirmed everything was nice and sturdy, I am going in with my nail gun. As I mentioned earlier in this video, I should have probably added a couple more supports for the application of the backsplash, but I didn't. So I just went with my nail gun and put spacer blocks in there so that as I am adding the pole wrap, I have a place to nail the pole wrap to. So the pole wrap is getting nailed to the supports that I already added on with the Craig pocket hole screws, but also onto these spacer blocks that I nailed on just directly onto the backs of the cabinets. And as you can see, it worked, and I'm very happy. And yeah, I'm just continuing this process of adding the pole wrap in, adhering it with my brad nailer, and then adding in the dowels. I am putting a little bit of wood glue on the ends of the dowels, by the way, before I put them into those little nooks, into those little holes that I pre-drilled. And this is how everything is looking once the pole wrap backsplash is completely up, and I absolutely love it. I mainly am in love with how much warmth it adds to this super white kitchen. Kitchens can be sterile just because you have so many hard surfaces, but I also have a lot of white, so the more wood, the better. I actually plan on adding some beams in here that are the same color, so stay tuned for that. So the idea is with these in place, I'll be able to put cutting boards, several, because we have several, and they can just sort of lean like that and they won't fall forwards. Because there are 3 shelves, who knows, I may end up using this for something else like decor, but I made it for the cutting boards. I think it looks, honestly, I think it looks fantastic, and I am so excited about the warmth of the natural wood grain and the fluting detail. I just think it looks so good. Now I am going to probably want to do like some trim work, maybe not. I honestly might just leave it, but I was thinking up at the top because there's a crack up there. My OCD brain is like, don't leave that little crack there. But honestly, it's fine. So the last thing I need to do is, I'm out of wood glue, so I can't finish this tonight, but I need to glue these into place so that they stay. I did make little divots so they can kind of fit. Just measure and glue all of the rounds so that the rails are in place, and that'll be it, you guys. That's gonna be the end of this project. So I will finish this up tomorrow. And this is how everything turned out. I am absolutely positively in love with this project. This is such an easy DIY. I did end up adding some trim up top, just using leftover pole wrap strips to cover that gap. But this is a DIY project that I did in literally a day, and it's super easy. You guys can just follow these steps and customize them to whatever wall or area you want to use. It's so nice not to have cutting boards falling all over my countertops, and just have a place to display all this beautiful wood. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and I have a lot more DIYs coming to you in 2024. I have a lot of big plans, now that I'm woodworking more, I have a lot of custom builds that I'm gonna do just to improve like storage and function in my house. It's wild, it's like I'm phasing out decor, I'm minimizing, but I'm adding more storage. And I actually just love the beauty of a custom built-in look, and because I can do it now, my woodworking is getting better and better. I have some really cool projects coming up. I even have one that I'm kind of hiding behind me that I'm gonna show you later, which is a custom closet that I did, and I'll walk you through how I completed that and all of that. So I have so much coming in 2024, and so much that I've been stockpiling that I still have to share with you guys. So be sure to subscribe, be sure to follow me over on Instagram. I share reels over there, like short form versions of what I'm doing here, and also just like updates when I'm doing DIY projects and inspiration from around the internet and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in today, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.